Hey, Jim Gaffney with your Mortgage Minute update. Hope you're well, and thanks for checking in. I appreciate you listening to these weekly updates and tips. Hopefully, you're getting something out of it. Today, we're going to talk about closing costs. What are closing costs, right? So we hear the word closing costs so often, and we hear buyers contacting different lenders to allow them to compete for who can provide the lowest closing costs. And in reality, the majority of the closing costs, 75%, almost 80% of all associated costs when buying a home are not those fees of the lender. Let me show you what I mean by that. There's four main parts to closing costs. You have your bank fees, title charges, your escrows, which is your property taxes and homeowners insurance, and you have your state mortgage tax. We're in Florida, so we have Florida state mortgage tax. That's a decimal. So these three items right here, title, escrows, and mortgage tax, are going to be the same. Relatively speaking, almost every title company in the state has just about the same fee structure. So three of the four items that represent closing costs are basically the same exact amount of money that they're going to see at closing, regardless of what lender that buyer chooses. Lastly is your bank charges. Most banks, lenders, credit unions, brokers are charging anywhere from, on the low side, maybe $800, on the high side, upwards of maybe $1,600 to $1,700 now we're seeing. That's the only item that's going to differ. The challenge is that when lenders market to buyers, they do it with as skinny, as thin of a possible estimate. So they're sending out a good faith estimate and loan estimates that are really as narrow as possible as it relates to total fees. Why? Because they want to be attractive. They don't want to put the actual escrow collections and per diem interest and what the true title charges may be in their market, because they're likely going to exceed an amount that the buyer may have budgeted for. So what's happening is they're not getting truthful information. So here we disclose everything in truth. It's going to look a little bit higher because it's accurate, right? It's accurate. We're doing we're pulling tax bills, and we're also pulling homeowners insurance quotes on behalf of our buyers, just as a courtesy to use as a guide for what they can expect for closing costs. So if I'm a real estate agent and my buyer's talking about closing costs and comparing lenders with closing costs, I now know that the only thing that's going to change from one lender to the other is this right here. And typically it's not enough to switch lenders over. You're talking about maybe a couple $100 variance from one bank to another maximum that you're going to see in fees. So those are the four parts of closing costs. Now when you hear it, you understand what they actually mean related to your client's home purchase. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.